Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to Zach's Hero HQ. And guys, we are back again with another spoiler discussion for episode 5 of X-Men 97 Season 2, titled Weapon X Lies and DVDs. Guys, this episode was freaking peak. The episodes keep getting better and better. I'm gonna wait for everybody to get in here before I keep going and talking. I see we got 3 people in here. Guys, make sure to like this stream right off the bat. What did you guys think? I'm very curious to know what everybody's thoughts are on this episode. I will say this episode felt very short. It's not a bad thing though. I was so like locked in this episode. This episode had my attention. Especially I feel like once we got to episode 4 of X-Men 97, the wheels just, like think that's where things got crazy. And I think a lot of people agree that episode 4 is definitely the best episode of the season thus far, but I feel like at this point, like the train has left the station and it's moving and it's not stopping. I feel like every episode from episode 1 on was great, but like was good, but like episode 4 on is like the it's really starting to move. And I really enjoyed this episode a lot. I really enjoyed this episode. Roby, you said sup, Zach. Nice to see you. What's up, Roby? How's it going? What did you think of episode 5 of X-Men 97? All right, guys. So yeah, this episode was titled Weapon X Lies and DVDs. We all knew in this from last week's episode when we got the mid-credit scene with, of course, Logan, Steve, Natasha. We kind of put 2 and 2 together when it said Weapon X on the file. When he said he's getting the old band back together, I assumed at that point, okay, like, I don't know if this is like the X-Men or like he, you know what I mean? He's going to maybe try to find the scientist that, gave him the adamantium. In a way, I was correct. It was his own, team. It's called, I think, Team X, or I think it's called, like, if I'm correct, it's called Team X or Weapon X. Which is what they call like the squad that he's with. I guess it's a whole bunch of people that were in the Weapon X program that got experimented on. And their motivations in this episode is that, oh, there's another scientist, there's another facility. We got to take out this scientist and we got to take out this facility and we got to make it where like people don't get put through what we got put through. But all in all, we all knew that Logan, when he got the Weapon X file, he wanted to get adamantium back. We all knew that. But for some unknown reason, when this episode started, I was like, I feel like your motivations is getting your claws back. And I feel like we know you're getting your claws back from the trailer. So I was like, okay, like, but is it really you're also trying to get the scientist too? So I felt like, okay, there must be more to the story here, that they are actually trying to take out this scientist. They're trying to take out this facility, but also Logan is trying to get his claws back. You know what I mean? It's the best of both worlds. Everybody has a motivation to, get the team together to go to this facility. And it turns out Logan's motivation is just getting his adamantium back. This whole, oh, get the scientist, oh, let's take out this facility, that isn't in Logan's mindset. He knew that they needed motivation or a reason to come together to go to this facility to help him. But he knew that they weren't going to help him get his adamantium back. They're like, okay, if I just tell them, oh, like, I need help getting my adamantium back, my claws back, they're not going to help me. I got to give them some motivation. I got to give them like a lie. And in a way, it wasn't a lie, but there was a lot of casualties in this mission. And I was like, I get why other people are upset. I get why, because that's why it's called, Weapon X Lies and DVDs. Like, in a way, Weapon X, Logan, but also, the Weapon X program lies. Logan lied. And we get a little bit of DVDs in here, which is cool. You know what I mean? I love the was it Lady Deathstrike said I prefer Laserdisc. I thought that was funny, but we're gonna kind of pull this up. I have some other images, but we're gonna kind of pull this up right now while we're talking about it. Like I said, I have some other ones I want to talk about, and we also have some cool transformations with Morph. He not only turns into Deadpool in here, he turns into some other big iconic characters. I would say two heroes that are really, really, well, actually, I guess you could say not only Deadpool, but 2 other big heroes that I was like, oh my god. I think the one that really got the oh my god was a character that we all know and love. and so happens to be on my desktop computer, which we will talk about. I was not expecting Morph to turn into that said character, but I really want to talk about it, and we will talk about Morph's transformations. We get a couple, not just Deadpool, which is amazing. Reading the chat, you said it was great. Roby, you said it was great. That's what I'm saying. It was peak. All right, but going on to this, this is the crew we're going in with. This is kind of like the Weapon X crew. Really, really cool. Seeing Wolverine back in the brown and yellow suit, awesome. Funny enough, I actually still have my 2-pack of Wolverine in his brown and yellow suit. I still need to unbox this, of the Storm and Wolverine 2-pack of him in his brown and yellow suit. Love that suit so much. And it was so cool seeing him back in that suit in said episode. So they're going into this mission, like I said, with this crew. I'm not familiar with these two characters right here. I was very confused who they were because I'm not familiar with them. Mind you, they might have been in Wolverine Origins and I just didn't know because they didn't have the same outfits, nor do I feel like that movie wasn't a good interpretation. So even if these characters, even in that movie, if they were some people were supposed to be these two characters, I would not have noticed. So you guys are gonna have to fill in the gaps for me who these two characters are, a part of this Weapon X crew. But I do know who Lady Deathstrike is. It was cool seeing her there. And even in the intro card or the title card, we get a little bit of moments of, Logan and, before I forget what her name is before she turns into Lady Deathstrike. But we got kind of like those were like we got like key flashback episodes or snippets from episodes from the original X-Men series. I forget what episode it is, but it's like there's an episode from the OG series where it's like Logan and you kind of like go through his past. I forget the name of that episode, but you kind of go in the past with Logan and see like how his life was, and you see like when he met Lady Deathstrike, but before she became Lady Deathstrike, and they kind of elaborate on that in the episode, with Morph, and kind of like when Morph is like, oh, this is an interesting bunch, and like, he kind of like goes through who's in the plane, and kind of like, him and Logan and her have some history, so that's really cool how they went through that. But Lawrence, sup, nice, how's it going? But like I said, this was an interesting crew, interesting bunch. This is the one thing I'm really enjoying about this season of X-Men 97 is that we're spending some time with different teams, and I really appreciate that because like I said, it's really interesting learning new characters, but also getting to experience different teams, especially, this is one of the teams I guess Logan was a part of when he said we're getting in a way, not even a team, but I guess, just when he said we're getting the band back together, just people that he was within the Weapon X program. In a way, it would have been cool to see Deadpool in this, but in a way, we did get Deadpool. But it would have been cool if we actually got Deadpool in this episode. I think that would have been really sick, but we didn't. We got Morph kind of filling in for the Deadpool role when he like transformed into Deadpool. So, in a way, they kind of did it. But it was cool seeing this group, and kind of we already know like what we already know what Logan's like motivations are. We already know what his motivations are. Whether he's not saying it, we know. Like, there's a reason you're going back to this place. There's a reason it says Weapon X. We kind of put two and two together. That's a place you got your adamantium. We know Logan's motivations. Whether the team doesn't know it, we know Logan's motivations. But it was just so cool seeing Morph. I liked Morph's costume in this episode in particular, and I feel like Morph really hasn't got, like, he's been on the back burner. I feel like we really haven't gotten enough of Morph per se, so this is kind of like putting Morph front and center with Logan, and I do like their dynamic together. They are very funny together, so I enjoyed seeing Morph and Logan together, so it was really, really cool. And kind of like from this perspective, Logan knows who everybody is in the plane, Morph does not. So in a way, he's kind of like been like, this is an interesting bunch. I really like that. He's kind of the odd one out, but also the level one here where they're, mind you, everybody in this plane and this chopper is like assassins, like they're weapons, hence the Weapon X program. They are meant to kill. So he is kind of the one that's like, okay, we have our mission here. We're going to go here. We're going to take out this scientist. We're going to take out this facility. Said and done. Morph doesn't even know what Logan's motivations are of him trying to get the adamantium back. He puts two and two together with the rest of the team, or what's left of the team later in the episode. So, yeah, cool shades that Morph had too. You said her name is Yuriko. Okay, Yuriko. Okay. Okay, I do remember that from the Wolverine. Was it the Wolverine movie? Okay, Yuriko. Okay. Uh, Senju, you said hi. Hi, how's it going? You said, what's the next episode? What is Danger X? I don't know what Danger X is. We're kind of focused in on this episode. Loved seeing Omega Red. Yeah, Omega Red was cool. Morph, a ride or die. Morph is a ride or die. He did show up, no questions asked. I feel like if any the other, I feel like the rest of the team wouldn't have. Well, not, I wouldn't say wouldn't, but Morph is the ride or die. Morph is the best friend to Logan. He would go because even in the OG series, when Morph like went missing or he got taken, Logan went after him. No one else went after him. Logan decided to go after him. Logan's a ride or die for Morph just as much as Morph is a ride or die for Logan, and I really do like that. Like I said, we pretty much, these are the only surviving members of the team. The other two characters died, bro. Like at this point, when we go into this facility, we know it's the Marauders. We talked about it in last week's spoiler live stream about the Marauders, how they were showing up in alien race. I had no clue who the hell they were. They were in the original series back in the day. Jamigi, you're not in here right now, or maybe you are. You're going to tune in soon. Jamigi, one of my subscribers, filled me in on the Marauders, that they're an alien species that once they touch you, you pretty much turn into an alien. We got a lot of that in here. I got alien vibes in this episode about they're going into this facility. They don't know what to expect. They just think that, oh, this is going to be an easy mission. We're going to take out this scientist. We're going to take out this location. Bada bing, bada boom, easy. That's not the case. There is alien species taking over in this facility, in a way trying to get their way out. Very alien, and I'm not a really big alien movie person, but I'm always, like interested in the alien species from the alien movie. So I got a lot of alien vibes in this episode, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool, really cool. That, I feel like this is the best of both worlds, is that I've never been into the Alien franchise, but to have, that an Alien, kind of like a mix of that, you saw what they were going for in tone in this episode. I get the best of both worlds. I get Marvel, but with aliens. That's cool. That's really sick to me. I really like that. You said, is what Sabretooth said confirmation that Morph has a crush on Logan? Roby, I don't know what you mean. He said that like I think he called Morph like, oh, you're like his, I don't even know what he said. Not pet, but he said like you're his something. I don't know. He said it seems that way. Hey, Batman 2 Part 2 releases February 18th, 2028. Yeah, I saw that. SCCC Marvel Studios, 10 days. Yes, sir. But going on to this is the other two characters died. Like I said, I'm not familiar with them. I feel like that's also like says something. I'm not familiar with these two other characters that were on the poster, because they die instantly. They die pretty quick when they crash, because they do crash because these alien birds, because I guess like these birds got like injected, were experimented on with this with the Marauders' blood, and like flew into the plane. They crash. This dude, I think, dies first. This guy right here, he gets impaled by a tree when they crash, dead. I was like, okay, like we're really diving deep with the darkness here. And they just walk off. They just walk. It doesn't even faze them that this dude died. I felt bad. I was like, okay, I actually like these two characters. I'm like, okay, he died right off rip. So I was like, okay. And then the other guy dies, at the hands of Logan, and we'll talk about that because they do split up at this point. Before they do split up, the only one that's left is the other dude that didn't get impaled by the tree. They split up. It's Logan and the other guy. It's Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, and Morph that go, and they're pretty much going to turn on the electricity to the facility, so that way they can get a ride out of here, because at this point they know that the Marauders are taking over the facility. They don't know what they are yet, but they know that it's an alien species, that the doc has been experimenting, putting this alien blood inside people, experimenting, trying to make it where people don't remember things. They're using like the Marauders' blood as like a memory wiping agent. And at this point, like, it didn't go the way the doc thought it was going to go. And he actually got, I don't know if he experimented on himself or things went wrong, and he got like injected with the alien blood, and the Doc turned into one of the Marauders. But at this point, they made two groups. You guys turn on the lights, and Logan and the other dude, oh, we're gonna go find a ride out of here. Find a ride out of here. He knew that was the adamantium level, and he's trying to get his adamantium back. His adamantium skeleton back. Of course, we have a look at the Marauders. They're cool. They're pretty cool creatures. We got a look, like I said, when we searched them up last week. I actually, funny enough, we do get a look at Logan, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the Marauders are cool. Actually, the concept of them sounded lame, but actually in this episode it worked. Like, I got alien vibes. I got like they're trying to invade Earth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If the alien blood gets on you, or they inject, or they're trying to mate with people, the strongest. They're trying to mate with the strongest, and if they get with you, that means that, you know, they'll morph with you, and they're pretty much gonna like they'll be able to take over the world essentially. I got like Secret Invasion vibes too, on like not the live action series, but like the comic Secret Invasion, and that they want to take over the planet. Blah 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 blah. It's one of those races that are just meant to take over, and I got that vibe from this, especially about the fact that they're trying to mate with the strongest, so that way they could take over the planet. And it's one of those things where it's like, if this gets out of the facility, we have a global problem at hand, like a world-ending situation if these aliens get out. So as of right now, this is the only, like, we only know the Marauders are in this building. I don't think we'll ever see them again, per se. We know the creatures live in space, I believe. I don't know if we'll see them again. I don't think we will. I think whatever they got of the species is in this facility, and when they were experimenting, that's how they started to multiply, because it looks like they got a husk, and then they were just experimenting, and then they realized, okay, if we put this blood, they can, like, that's how they start to multiply. That's how they produce. That's how they reproduce. Is that's a way for them to spread, and the species to spread. I was like, okay, so I was like, it's contained. So it's also, they have to destroy this facility at this point. The Doc is already an alien at this point, but they don't know that Logan has an ulterior motive. It was never about the Doc. It was never about taking out the facility. It was always about getting the adamantium back. So yeah. You said some people are blaming James Gunn for Supergirl. What are we talking about? Do you think we'll see Omega Red again? I think we possibly will. I don't think that's the last of Omega Red. I highly doubt it. You said the aliens are called the Brood. If they infect you, then they can turn into them, and they get your power you have anyway. Have any? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, yeah, the Brood. So, but yeah, the Brood, I like them. Like I said, they're an interesting race, alien race. I think they're pretty interesting, especially for this one episode. I think you could do an episode like this, and you can leave it at that. I don't think we'll ever see them again, because, like I said, they had a husk. They were experimenting. It went wrong. As in every movie, or every kind of, like, you know, plot goes, when you deal with an alien, experimenting always goes wrong, and it went wrong here. So I thought it was cool. Like I said, this dude ends up dying right here because he gets scared, and essentially, like, he was with Logan, and Logan had ulterior motives, but it did not go the way that this dude thought it was going to go. And we're about to see that in a minute here. Which I don't want to get to Omega Red yet. I want to get to this. So yeah, Logan turns into a Brood. A Brood, he gets infected, turns into a Brood. We actually have a Marvel Legends of this. I forget what wave it was a part of, but it was with the Psylocke. It was like a Psylocke in Wolverine / Brood 2-pack. Really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want, I would actually, I think they'll make this figure, even though we already have one. I feel like they will make one for X-Men 97, at least I hope so, because I would want, like, one that looks like it's from the animated series, not just from the comic. Even though you can get this figure now, it's a 2-pack, you can get this figure. I would want the X-Men 97 version of this figure. Really, really cool, really cool concept. It was cool to see this, because, like I said, I remember seeing that 2-pack being like, what is that? Like, why is there like, it looked like a zombie to me. I remember, like, when I saw that, I was like, it looks like a zombie Wolverine. Like, what is this? Turns out it was a Brood, and now getting to kind of, like, you know what I mean, kind of see that in live action, or not live action, but see it in like a cartoon interpretation of what that figure was, that was wondering what it was, that was cool. Seeing it actually happen. So this was sick. He gets him, Logan, or Brood Logan impales that one guy multiple times. Like slices and dices him, takes him out. And I felt really bad. I was like, damn, bro, that sucks. Like, people just died. Mind you, characters that I didn't know died. I feel like they utilize these characters like no one, unless diehard comic readers will know who these characters are. The average Joe won't know who these two characters are, part of this Weapon X team. Let's just take them out. Let's let them be like let's let them be the casualties of doing this mission. And like when we find out Logan's lying, it's like, look at what we lost. Look at like, all just to get your claws back. Are you really just an animal? Which that's in talks. Like that the team is like, Logan's just an animal, and you're seeing it. This is his true self coming out when he turned into the Brood. He's just an animal. He just cares about himself. He's just an animal. I don't think Logan's like that at all, but I see where people are coming from, especially when you have casualties. You know what I mean? It's tough. You said, Jimmy, nice to see you. Said, Garrison Kane. Which one's Garrison Kane out of the group? I don't know who it is. Or is it, Garrison and Kane? Are they two different guys? Or is Garrison Kane one person? I don't know. I think, are you talking about this guy's Garrison Kane? I don't know. Oh, he said, oh, I was responding to the Batman to delay. Okay. Maverick. Is this dude Maverick? Or is this guy Maverick? And is this supposed to be Garrison and this is Maverick? Or is this is this Maverick and Garrison, or is this Garrison and Maverick? I don't know. You have to fill in the gaps. He said Logan didn't fully turn into the Brood because his healing factor, okay, I don't know why it popped up. His healing factor was preventing the full transformation. Oh, it looked pretty transformated to me, but I guess you're right. Yeah. I love the rage bait from Morph. Yeah, that was great. The guy who died in the tree, that's Maverick. Oh, so this dude. Okay, so this dude died. Okay, so this is Maverick and this is Garrison Kane. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Let me tell you this. Garrison died. He got sliced and diced by Logan. Cooked. But at this point, I want to talk about this. Because we could talk about this now. Morph turned into a lot of people. He turned into Cyclops. Yes, he did. And Cyclops, and it was a part of like Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth and Morph's plan to get Logan back into the adamantium pod and give him what he wants. Because at this point, the adamantium would flush out any alien Brood DNA in him and would make Logan turn fully back to normal. So at this point, they need a way to get Logan into the pod because he's not going to go willingly. So, of course, Morph turns into Cyclops and rage baits Logan into getting him into the pod, which was hilarious. He said, oh, Logan, I'm your superior. You're gonna come here. You have to listen. And pretty much was like, oh, I'm going to give Jean lots of smooches. And when he said that, I was like, brother, that's going to do it. So that was funny. I don't have the image because there's an image on X where like, Scott turns around, or Morph Scott turns around, and I'm gonna see if I can find it because I had it a few minutes ago and I did find an image where someone had it. This is it right here. I can actually mute it, but like this is kind of like what's happening here. I'm gonna just get to the one shot where he turns around. Yeah, this shot right here, which I can full screen it. Let me like do that real quick, mute that, full screen it, and then we'll use this like an image. Yeah, this happens. Like, I love how, like, they utilize Cyclops' visor, and this is such a cool shot, is that you see Brood Logan inside the visor in the reflection. That was cool. But, like, he was rage baiting him, and that was smart. Morph knows Logan enough where, oh, if anybody can rage bait Logan and annoy Logan and get underneath his skin, it's Scott. It's Scott. It's true. It's great. But, of course, like, Morph has to turn into Jean to kind of get, like, Brood, Logan to, like, focus up and like get into the actual pod, or distract him enough so they could get him into the pod. So they end up getting him into the pod, but not before Omega Red shows up. Omega Red is in this facility. He's in sleep. He's in stasis. The thing gets cracked open because I think Morph gets thrown by by Logan or someone, or I don't remember. I think it was by like Brood Logan, and at that point, things just go haywire. Like Omega Red gets out, is using his abilities, trying to kill everybody, trying to do his thing, and at this point, the adamantium is being put in Logan, and he ends up jumping out of the pod, and then we get the shot. And he's like slicing and dicing once he gets out. He's taking out the brood that were in the facility, while of course Omega Red was taking on Morph, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike. I thought this was cool when he said, like, I'm back, baby. When in the trailer he says, we're back, baby. I loved that. I thought that was cool. Some trickery for the trailer when he said that, like, pretty much X-Men 97 is back. That was a cool way to kind of do that. I bet you they made the voice actor do it twice, this line. One for the trailer, but also one for the actual episode where this scene is from. I like that. I thought it was cool. I am happy Logan has his claws back, but at what cost? It's like what you were hearing Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, what you were hearing the team say about Logan, and the only one that was defending Logan was Morph, saying he's more than that. He's not just an animal with claws. He's more than that. He's a real one. I do think Morph likes Logan, though. I will say I do think he likes him. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think Logan probably sees him as a good friend. I don't see it going anywhere. I don't know how far they'll go with it. Who knows? But, you know what I mean? Morph is a ride or die, and I love that about Morph. He's super cool. Whether they get in a relationship or not, I don't know, but they're damn good friends, and he's a ride or die. That's all that matters at the end of the day. He's stuck up for Logan, but this is all backing up what they said, is that, you know, he's just a beast with claws. And it's like, that's what Logan's been told his entire life. You're just an animal with claws. And Morph sees more. But it's like, it's hard to, like, when you're defending someone, if they don't see that in themselves, that you're more than what people say about you, it's hard. It's hard to defend. It's kind of hard to defend someone when the person that you're defending doesn't see that they're more than what people think that you are. So I do like where they're trying to go with this. And I do think that there's some great character development that can happen for Logan in said season of this season. I could see there being a lot of great character development for him, of him finding out that I am more than just an animal with claws. I know I can be more. It is going to be interesting to see where they go with that. I'm very interested to see. But I want to talk about this. Before we kind of get to this one shot. I want to talk about Morph's transformations. So these are all the characters Morph turned into in this episode. This was insane. And I want to read the chat real quick. You said, the guy who died in the tree, Maverick. You said, no, Maverick is the one died by Logan. Okay, then, okay. So Maverick is the one that died by Logan. And the Kane dude, is that the one that died by the tree? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Didn't even mention Kane's death. Kane death. Didn't even mention Kane death. You said Kane before. You said, Garrison Kane. That's what you said. Is that the guy that died by the tree? You're confusing me now, Jamiki. The guy who died in the tree, that's Maverick. No, Maverick, the one that died by Logan. Wait, what? The guy that died in the tree, that Maverick. No, Maverick is the one that died by Logan. They didn't even mention Kane death. Okay, well, yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't mention either, if I'm being honest. I think the one that they acknowledged the most was probably the guy that was getting sliced up by Logan, which if you're telling me that's Maverick that got sliced up by Logan, and then Kane was the one that died by the tree, I guess, right? That's confusing. I don't know who the hell they are. They didn't spend enough time with them for me to care. So tomato, tomato. Long story short is they let the dude. They didn't even acknowledge the dude that got impaled by the tree. We just saw him. They didn't care. They walked off. And the dude that got sliced up by Logan, they didn't really care either. They walked off. It's just they were supposed to enhance the story of this is the cost of Logan's lies, of him trying to get his adamantium back. Innocent lives. I don't know if they're innocent per se, but, you know, lives at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Just you cost people's lives. That's a big deal. But I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the fact that we got all these cameos by Morph transforming into them. We got Deadpool, we got Silver Samurai, we got Spider-Man. When I mean I jumped, that was the coolest one. I think before the Spider-Man, it was The Thing for me. Personally, it was The Thing. I think he used this dude. It looked like I thought he used the Blob at first and then turned into The Thing. I think he did this dude. I don't know who this is. And then he turned into The Thing. You'll have to let me know, guys, because I don't know. It looked like Blob to me when Morph did the bouncing around and then did the smash and turned into The Thing. I thought it was the Blob, but I think it was this guy because that's what people put in here. I don't know who that is, but that was cool. Long story short, at the end of the day, it was so sick how he did that. What a cool combo. This is the beautiful thing about Morph. Morph can turn into any character and they could pull from anything. We don't even actually have to have the character actually show up. He could just turn into them. This is such a brilliant way not to overshadow other characters with another character by a character that's in your show, one of the main characters that's turning into said cameo character. That's brilliant. You could still have cameos like how we had Steve, like how we had Natasha in the mid-credit of last week, and it didn't overshadow or do anything too crazy, but it's really awesome that they're utilizing Morph's ability, and I love it. Like, look at how many people he turned into in one episode. That's crazy. Like I said, The Thing was the one I jumped when I was like, oh my god, like the first one I jumped at, but Spider-Man got my applause. Spider-Man, how he turned into the Spider-Man, the animated series Spider-Man, peak. That was peak to me. He didn't web swing or anything. Unfortunately, he didn't shoot webs. He didn't do any of that. He just jumped around and dodged. That was enough for me, but it would have been cool to see him use webs. That would have been fire. That would have been sick. I think I would have flipped out if that would have happened. You said Punk and Squash. Punk and Squash. So this is Punk and this is Squash. What is Punk's ability? Does he bounce? Like, what's his ability? Jamaica, you'll have to let me know. But if I'm correct, that's who he turned into Morph before he turned into The Thing. If I was wrong about him turning into Blob, even though he looked big, but I think I was wrong. I think he might have turned into Punk. But this was cool. Definitely for sure, Spider-Man got the biggest applause. But guys, I'm curious to know, like, which character that Morph turned into did you jump up out of your seat the most? Like, which one were you most excited to see him turn into? It was cool that he turned into Deadpool, but he didn't do anything. He just turned into Deadpool, picked up Sabretooth, and walked out of the room. And retreated to get away from Brood Logan at that point. But so they can make up a plan. At that point, though, I will say that, like, Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike were getting ready to just leave. Because they're like, oh, like, Logan just, he lied to us. He just wanted to get his adamantium. He didn't care about taking out the scientists. He didn't care about, the possibility of this spreading, this doc, torturing people. He didn't care. He just wanted his claws back. He's just an animal with claws. We were right. They were getting ready to just leave. If it wasn't for Morph shooting the door so that way they couldn't leave, I don't know if Morph would have been able to get Logan to turn back to normal. I don't know if they would have been able. He would have been able to do it alone. I don't think he would have been able to. So really, like, Logan owes Morph a lot because things would not have went. Things clearly didn't go the way Logan had planned. When he said, let's split off, he thought he could just get the adamantium, get on the ship, bada bing, bada boom, leave. That didn't happen. He got turned into a brood. And yeah, so it's funny. You said, The Thing. The Thing, for you, The Thing was the highlight of the episode for you, Roby? Like him, like Morph turning into The Thing? That's cool. Mine was Spider-Man. Like, The Thing was sick, but Spider-Man was the thing. I was like, oh my god! It was so sick. I was like, he just turned into Spider-Man! So cool. Alright, but going on, I think the last thing I want to talk about is, and we got a cool shot. I'm gonna pop this up. This is a better shot of, like, different poses that Morph did as Spider-Man. So this was sick. I found this on X. I find all my images on X. Shout out to the people on X that post right after they're done with the episodes. It's easier to find images when people do that than go, like, looking for them on the web, on the internet. I don't know why I had to clarify that, but web. I'm gonna stick with the web because Spider-Man, a pun for Spider-Man. But I do like how, like, just that people made like a collage of the different poses Morph did as Spider-Man. This was sick. Of him just jumping around, then he gets caught by Omega Red. This was cool. But the last image I want to talk about is this image right here. This was beautiful. I love this shot. This is such a beautiful shot of Morph kind of like looking at Logan and I'm like, this is the way I interpret this shot is that Morph is like, you're more than just your claws, you're more than just an animal. You need to see that in yourself. And it's like Logan looking at himself in the claws and because Logan at this point says, I'm not like you, Morph. You know, I wish I want to get the quote. I want to get the quote because he says this and then that shot pops up. And it really got me. It really got me. I was like, damn, bro, that's some good writing. Like some good dialogue in this episode. I think it was down a little bit more. Right here. Wait, yeah. Right here. I would play it, but I don't want to get copyright, but we're just gonna click it. When he says, Wolverine, I ain't like you, Morph. I ain't like you. Yeah, I ain't like you, Morph. Some of us gotta be the one thing. Some of us gotta be one thing. Morph, and you're what? Just an animal with claws? Logan says, that's what I'm the best at being. So it's one of those things. It's like, and then like Logan's looking at himself in the claws, pretty much being like, yeah, like, I want to believe I'm more than that. Like, it's just good. It's just so sick. This is so sick. What this episode was so peak, bro. It was so good. I love this shot. Shots like this and then the visor, it's just they're cooking. We're really eating good, and the creators of this show really know what they're doing. And I do wonder, like, it's like Morph's hurt. Morph is hurt. Like maybe everybody was right. I don't want to believe him. Maybe everybody was right. And it's like Logan, like it's like he's disappointed. He's looking at it like, am I just more than my claws? Like I don't know. It's just good. Any predictions for future episodes? I have no predictions for future episodes. I really don't know where they're gonna go with this, guys. I really don't know. This is one show that I feel like I don't see. The thing with me is also too, when it comes to X-Men, I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. Especially when it comes to the comics. There are so many X-Men comics out there. They could pull from anything. They could do a lot of their own stuff. They're clearly pulling from a lot. And at the end of the day, I really don't know what direction they're going in. I really don't know. I feel like at the end of I feel like we are going to get to the point where like all the X-Men are going to team up. Cable with his was it X-Force, the X-Men team, all of them are going to, maybe even X-Factor, are all going to team up and take out Apocalypse. And that's going to be the difference to defeat Apocalypse, is that every time no one's ever been together like this to take on Apocalypse. So I feel like Apocalypse will die. It'll be very much Infinity War and Endgame, how everybody failed in Infinity War to stop Thanos, is that everybody wasn't together. As the Russo brothers said, the Avengers weren't together. That's why they couldn't defeat Thanos. Now, at this point in Endgame, the reason that they defeated Thanos is that everybody got together to take on Thanos. I think it'll be a scenario like that. That's my only other theory, is that. But other than that, I don't really know what's going to happen. What are your theories, though? You said, I enjoyed this episode. It's not the strongest episode, but it's still good with dialogue and the homages to movies like Alien and Predator in the 80s. That's what I thought, is I got a lot of Alien vibes in this episode. Like I said, I'm not a big Alien guy, but I really like the concept of like the, creatures invading and trying to take over. So I enjoyed that. Especially in a Marvel project. That's sick. That's sick to me. Because it's in a Marvel setting and it's in an animated series. That's going to be cool. So this is definitely one of my highlighted episodes personally for me. If I had to rank the episodes, which I am going to do so right now, I would still say, I would say this episode 5, episode 4, I would say episode 2, episode 1, and then I would say episode 3. That's how I would do it. So I would do 5, 4. Yeah, I would do episode 5, 4, 2, 1, 3. That's how I would rank them. Rank the episodes thus far of the season. I'm curious to hear your guys' rankings. If you guys want to, feel free to do so. How would you rank the season thus far in terms of the episodes? Like, in your episode rank, where would you place them? I'm curious. It was good side quest. It was a good side quest. It was a good like filler episode. It was good. And I think starting next week is when we'll get back to the rest of the X-Men and trying to figure out the apocalypse of it all. It was nice to kind of go on a side mission to kind of let us breathe after Magneto's passing. I think that was brilliant to kind of give us a moment to kind of like let that sink in about Magneto dying. So I think this was a really solid episode. If I'm being honest, I really enjoyed this episode a lot more than episode 3, personally. That's just my personal opinion. And I liked episode 1 that I like more than I liked episode 3. Episode 3 was good, but like not as good as episode 1. If I'm being honest, I think episode 3 was the weakest of the bunch. But I liked I think 5 the most. Even though 4 was really good. But I really enjoyed this episode. But guys, let me know. Let me know your ranking of the episodes, but I also want to know, like, what are your theories? Does anybody have any theories where it could go? Me, not so much, because I'm also kind of just enjoying not doing theories and kind of just letting the show play out. I feel like it's also good to do that once in a while, is not have theories for everything. And I feel like I usually, like, do that for a lot of things. So it's nice to kind of just sit back and relax. And if I have a theory, I will usually say what it is. But I really have no theory going forward besides them all coming together and taking on Apocalypse. Like, that's the only, like, thing I got so far. Guys, give me a minute while I refresh the page. I just want to refresh the page real quick. All right, sick. Does anybody know what next episode will be like, or if have any theories on what it will be like? I think we're gonna meet up with the other X-Men now. I think they're gonna fly back, Morph and Logan, and they'll be with the X-Men, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Logan, you got your claws back," and then Morph will probably still be like hard on Logan, and be like, "Yo, like I'm not happy still about like what you did to get those claws, like the people that died." And just and the fact that you lied, like, what I mean, I do feel like it's going to be interesting. I feel like Morph will be a little bit more reserved in the next couple of episodes, um while Logan figures things out on the person on the person he wants to be. That's what I wanted to say. But it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. Going on to pretty much, because guys, that was it. That was my discussion of episode 5 of season 2 of X-Men 97, titled Weapon X Lies and DVDs. I'm glad a lot of you guys like this episode. I'm excited to see what we have in store, or what they have in store for us next Wednesday. It's going to be interesting. Also, next week is a huge week. We have Avengers Doomsday tickets dropping on Monday. We have the Avengers Doomsday trailer dropping at San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday. I believe it is Saturday. And we also have some Marvel Legends dropping next Friday as well. I think there's going to be a panel for the Hasbro team for Marvel Legends. I don't know if I'm going to be covering that, because I don't know if they're going to be going live at San Diego Comic-Con showing the reveals. I think they'll probably have a panel, show them off, and I think they'll record said, panel, or maybe they'll just go over the reveals afterwards and they'll make a live stream or a pre-recorded thing that they'll put out. I don't know. Long story short is, I'll probably cover it. Maybe I'll go live, or if I find out what time they're doing it, maybe I will go live. I don't know what I'll do. I haven't really decided yet, especially because I'm going to be doing a chill stream next Friday, and we are doing a chill stream this week, so I'll be seeing you guys this Friday at 7:50 p.m. EST for the chill stream this Friday. I already have it up on the channel, so it's already up. If you guys want to put on notifications for said stream, you can. And I also have my SDCC Hall H panel live stream up as well for next Saturday. So I'm already ahead of the game. I already have things planned out and ready. So yeah. You said my ranking for the season are 4, 3, 1, 2, and 5. 4, 3, 1, 2, and 5. So 4, 3, 1, 2, and 5. Okay, so 5 was your least favorite episode. If I'm reading that correctly, on like it starts out like number 1, it would be episode 4, like if you're going that way instead of going this way. Okay. So 5 was your least favorite. Okay. But guys, I'm excited. I'm excited for next week. Next week is going to be a big week for the channel, so it's going to be big. I'm also excited to see like how many people we get for the live stream for SDCC. I'm hoping for a huge turnout. We'll have to wait and see. I feel like we usually do pretty well. The channel does pretty well. At San Diego Comic-Con Day, I feel like the channel does very well. So I'm excited to see how many new subscribers we get from Saturday. I am trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before Spider-Man. If we're gonna hit it, I hope we hit it Saturday next week. Fingers crossed. I really hope we hit it because I really am trying to get there. I think right now we are at like, I forget what we're at right now in subscribers. I want to say we're almost 2,000. We're at 1,632. So we're close. We're close. We're a couple hundred away. You said they're all still they're all still good episodes though. 100%. Yeah, I agree. There really isn't any bad episode, but if I had to say like an episode that I was like, okay, this is all right, is probably episode 3. Like I liked the episode, but it wasn't my favorite. It was good though, but it wasn't my favorite. You said I just subscribed. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate you so much. Is it Rick Costa or Costa? I think it's Costa, right? Rick Costa. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We'll be here next Wednesday for episode 6 of X-Men 97. And I'm also going to be doing a chill stream this Friday at 7:50 p.m. where we're just going to be talking whatever news is we're going to be talking about. I think we're even going to be talking about the Avengers tickets on Friday, this upcoming Friday, and we'll talk about some other things. Said first one indeed. Thank you. I appreciate it. One step closer to 2,000 subscribers. One step closer. So I appreciate it. All right, guys. I do got to get out of here. I am going to be ending stream now because I'm going to be, I have some other plans I need to attend to. But I just want to say thank you for everybody that joined today's stream for episode 5 of X-Men 97 season 2. Like I said, we'll be live again this Friday for the chill stream at 7:50 p.m. EST. 7:50 p.m. EST, and then we're gonna be going live a lot next week between Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we have a lot to do next week. I'm very excited. If anybody wants to catch my reaction to this latest episode of X-Men 97 or the past few episodes, they are up on Patreon right now. Link in description to my Patreon. I'm actually going to have episode 5 up. I'm going to upload it right after I am done here on stream. I'm going to upload it before I got to get to do some things. So I'm very excited just to get it up on Patreon. Amongst any other episode reactions of a whole bunch of other different sorts of shows. If you guys want to go check them out, feel free to go do so. I have other shows up there, so go check them out. You said coast like a coast of cost like a Costa pizza, not Costa. Well, okay. Okay, sick. Thank you. I appreciate it. You said W stream. Thank you, Terrell. I appreciate it as always. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.